Dear Lord, help this council make great decisions for the city. May all our citizens be able to benefit from those decisions. Be with our policemen and our firemen, and keep them safe. Be with our city workers, keeping them safe. Your name we pray. Amen.
Hand pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council has a copy of the agenda. Would entertain a motion.
Mayor, if I could, can I make a request, and you can do it either before adopting the agenda or after we get into the meeting, but I'd like to table under new business items A and B. We've got a procedural issue that council suggested we take these back to the Planning Commission and have another vote to make the property zoned RA.
Why don't we leave it there and you just explain and
that's fine.
That,
and then
we'll have some continuity.
Could we add something for David Hall to discuss a water withdrawal letter he received today?
Okay. What about item J?
Perfect.
David Hall, Jim Looney, water.
Groundwater withdrawal permit increase.
Okay, groundwater withdrawal increase, permit increase.
Yes.
Council, item J and items that Mr. Looney just mentioned, A and B, remain there with an explanation as to why we want to take it. Okay, with those changes, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion we accept the agenda with the changes.
Okay, motion,
Second.
motion second, discussion. Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Unanimous, council. Lonnie, give us some air, please, who we just got here. And step real close to it. Item 5, read minutes of the September 5th regular meeting and September 26th town hall meeting. Lisa.
Wednesday, September 5th, 2018. Mayor, we recall the meeting to order promptly at 6 p.m. He requested John Basket the invocation. He requested council members Sonny Proctor lead the pledge of allegiance. Mayor Weaver asked that the agenda be reviewed and approved by council. City manager Jim Looney stated that he would like to add to item F under new business that council consider a four-way stop at Old Philadelphia and Confederate Lane. Councilmember Tony Fountain made a motion to approve the agenda with the change. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. City Clerk Lisa Hall read the minutes of the August 6, 2018 regular meeting. Councilmember Tony Fountain made a motion to adopt the minutes. Councilmember Rand Snavy seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Ms. Hall read the minutes of the August 3, 2018 call meeting. Councilmember Rand Snavy made a motion to adopt the minutes. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item A under old business, Mayor Weaver recognized Jim Looney to give an update on the Richard Street property donation. Mr. Looney stated that it had been determined by the city attorney that in order to change the title over to the city, it would cost $2,500 in legal fees. Mr. Looney recommended that due to the legal fees and the fact that the property was very small, the city not accept the donation. Councilmember Ansnavy made a motion that the city not accept the donation. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item B under old business, Mayor Weaver recognized Mr. Looney, who stated that Jasper Enterprises, Inc. had withdrawn their application for an alcohol license. No action necessary. Item A under new business, Mayor Weaver recognized Carlo DePizzo, owner of Wingsology, to request permission for outdoor alcohol sales Saturday, October 6th for Marble Festival. He stated that council had approved the outdoor sales last year. He stated that he would block off half of Stegall Street as he did last year so that the trolley could run. Mayor Weaver entertained a motion to approve the outdoor sales on Saturday, October 6th. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield made such motion. Councilmember Sonny Proctor seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item B under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Katie Westbrook of Lux Mitigation and Planning. She stated she was here to represent Pickens County Emergency Management Agency and to present to council the Pickens County Hazard Mitigation Plan, updated every 5 years. She read a resolution that the city needed to adopt in order to approve the plan. She stated that there had been 6 meetings in the process of updating the plan. Discussion with council followed. Mayor Weaver entertained a motion to approve the resolution as read. Councilmember Ansonovi made such motion. Councilmember Tony Fountain seconded the motion. Motion carried by unanimous vote. Item C under new business. Mayor Weaver called upon Jim Looney and Water and Sewer Superintendent David Hall to present to council the need to continue negotiations with Pickens County regarding the water line that the city plans to run to the county's planned water treatment plant at Granby Lake. Mr. Looney stated that a letter had been received from the county requesting a commitment from the city to run the water line. Discussion followed. Mayor Weaver entertained a motion. Councilmember Sonny Proctor made a motion to allow Jim Looney, David Hall, and Mayor Weaver to negotiate with the county in good faith to run the line in order to maximize the citizens of Jasper's benefit. Councilmember Ansonovi seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item D under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Jim Looney and David Hall to present the watershed protection plan for the city of Jasper, Georgia, dated June 2018. Mr. Hall stated that by approving this plan, the city is agreeing to test all water that is leaving the city, not only wastewater plant water release, but the city will be responsible for all water leaving the city when the plan is implemented. He also stated that this plan was a requirement for the wastewater plant expansion permit. Mayor Weaver entertained a motion that he be allowed to approve the watershed protection plan and to sign all documents necessary in that approval. Councilmember Tony Fountain made such a motion. Councilmember Ansonovi seconded the motion. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Item E under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Jim Looney to present to council the need for a replacement engine for the jetter truck in the amount of $11,700. Mr. Looney stated that he had contacted council earlier in the month to get permission for this emergency repair. Mayor Weaver entertained a motion. Councilmember Ansonovi made a motion to approve the replacement motor at a cost of $11,700. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item F under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Mr. Looney to present to council his recommendation for a no left turn sign at the intersection of Mark Whitfield Street and Highway 53. Councilmember John Faust made a motion to approve the sign. Councilmember Ansonovi seconded the motion. Discussion followed. Mayor Weaver stated that traffic could still cross Highway 53 onto the street across from Mark Whitfield Street. Councilmember John Faust suggested that the sign state right turn only rather than no left turn in order to stop traffic from crossing the intersection. The motion was changed to approve a right turn only sign at the intersection by John Faust and Ansonovi seconded. Motion carried unanimously. Item F1 added under new business. Mr. Looney stated that he had a request from some business owners that the city put a four-way stop at the intersection of Old Philadelphia Road and Confederate Road. Discussion followed. Councilmember Tony Fountain made a motion to table the decision until the next regular meeting to give council an opportunity to look at the intersection. Councilmember Ansonovi seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item G under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Mr. Looney to present to council proposals from 2 sanitation service contractors to replace the city's sanitation department. Mr. Looney also stated that he had included for council's review the city's current customer profile as well as rates. Mr. Looney stated that he recommends having a public hearing to obtain citizens' input before making any changes to the city's current garbage service. Discussion followed. Councilmember John Faust stated that he would like to have the hearing the day before the work session next month so that council could discuss the issue at the work session. Mayor Weaver recommended having a public hearing on the same night as the work session prior to the work session. Councilmember John Faust made a motion to advertise and hold a public hearing to discuss the future of the city's sanitation services on Wednesday, September 26th. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Item H under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Mr. Looney to present the need for a committee to put together a blight ordinance. Mayor Weaver stated that he appoints Councilmember John Faust and Ansonovi to serve on that committee due to their interest in a blight ordinance. Item I under new business. Mayor Weaver recognized Mr. Looney to present the need for a committee to put together a metal building ordinance. Mayor Weaver stated that he appoints Councilmember John Faust and Ansonovi to serve on that committee due to the fact that the ordinances are related subjects. Item J, under new business, Mayor Weaver recognizes Mr. Lane to present to council a proposal on 2 dog runs at the Jasper City Park. Mr. Lundy stated that the cost for both a 228-foot run and a 270-foot run will be $8,577. Discussion followed. Finance Director Lisa Hoyle stated that the project was not in the budget. City Manager Jim Lundy stated that the city could use money budgeted for other park projects. Councilmember Tony Fountain voiced concern that no citizen had approached him asking for a dog run. Councilmember Kirk Rattfield made a motion to approve the dog runs at a cost of $8,577. Councilmember Ann Snavy seconded the motion. Motion carried by 4 votes. Councilmember Tony Fountain voted against. Item K, under new business, Mayor, we recognize Mr. Looney to present the first reading of the city's pet ordinance. Following the reading, Councilmember John Faust made a motion to approve this as the first reading of the ordinance. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Item L, under new business, Mayor, we recognize Mr. Looney to discuss a request from David Schaus that the city take ownership of Ralph Hicks Circle. He stated the street was curb gutted and was within the city's street standards. Mayor Weaver entertained a motion. Councilmember Tony Fountain made a motion that the city take ownership of Ralph Hicks Circle. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. That should be item E under new business. Finance Director Lisa Hoyle recommended to council the proposed millage rate. Ms. Hoyle stated that although the city's property values experienced a decrease in inflationary growth, there had been growth in the digest. She is asking permission to advertise the proposed millage rate at the same rate as the previous year at 4.655 mills. Mayor Weaver called for a motion to advertise the millage rate at 4.655. Councilmember Ann Snavy made such a motion, and Councilmember Sonny Crockett seconded the motion. The motion passed unanimously. Finance Director Lisa Hoyle gave a financial report for the month of August 2018. Chief Greg Lowe gave a report of police activities for the month of August 2018. Chief Steve Roper gave a report of fire activities for the month of August 2018. Councilmember John Faust gave a report of JYSA. Being no other business to come before council, Mayor Weaver asked for a motion to adjourn. Councilmember Ann Snavy made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Council is scheduled to convene next at the regular council meeting to be held October 1st, 2018. And I need to change that to the town hall meeting held on September 26th. I'll make that change.
With that, we're going to have a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes with the changes.
Motion to approve the minutes with the minor changes you just referred to. Is second? Motion second, discussion. Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Unanimous, thank you. Okay, I think next is the September 26th town hall meeting.
Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. Mayor Weaver called the meeting to order promptly at 6 p.m. He requested Councilmember John Faust give the invocation. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield led in the recital of the Pledge of Allegiance. Mayor Weaver asked that it be noted that Councilmember Tony Fountain is absent. Mayor Weaver asked that the agenda be reviewed and approved by council. Councilmember Ann Snavy made a motion to approve the agenda as presented, and Councilmember John Faust seconded the motion. Motion carried unanimously. Mayor Weaver recognized City Manager Jim Lundy to present financial information regarding the city's sanitation service. Following Mr. Lundy's presentation, the floor was open to the public for comments and questions regarding the city's sanitation service. There were several comments and concerns expressed by the citizens and business owners of the city of Jasper. All who commented were in favor of the city keeping the sanitation the same as present. It was asked by one citizen how the money saved from outsourcing the service would be utilized. Councilmember Kurt Rattfield stated that he felt that there was no better way to spend the money saved by outsourcing the sanitation service than to spend and invest in public safety. He stated that he is all about transparency and there are no cameras in the patrol cars. He stated that all officers did not have bulletproof vests. He stated that the fire department needs equipment. He stated that he felt our public safety was lacking. Mr. Lundy recognized the mayor and council for comment. All council thanked the citizens for their attendance and comments. Mayor Weaver made a short statement explaining how and why the city sanitation service came into existence. Mayor Weaver recognized city employees for comments about the city's sanitation service. Being no other business to come before council, Mayor Weaver adjourned the meeting.
Motion.
Quick note, the public safety lacking, we can add the word equipment after public safety. It's the equipment that's lacking, not our public safety. I just want to make sure that that's on the record.
Just if you will just add that, he would want to clarify what he was trying to say.
Public
Yes, thank
safety
you.
equipment.
Yes, ma'am, thank you,
I will make that change.
thank you.
No, make that addition. I think you got to get that off of what he actually said. He said what he meant to say was not lacking equipment.
The equipment,
That's all
correct.
he said. I
Yes.
think that would be a good change for him. A
Yes.
good addition or footnote.
That's fine, thank you.
With that, we'll entertain a motion. Could we cut that as a motion that you would
Yes.
able to change?
Make a motion, we accept that with the slight change.
Second.
Got a motion second. Discussion? Been done all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. Did you vote for that? Did you raise your hand? You weren't here, okay, sorry. Okay, old business. Item A, sanitation service update, Jim. Well, we talked about this, what we do, we talked about this in our work session, but we get to get it on the record. So, while we have that here, not even though it might not need any action.
At the, after the meeting on the 26th, which was a good meeting, well attended, good exchange of ideas. It was suggested at the work session the next night that I get a group together and talk about ways to improve service, lower costs, evaluate rates, and possibly grow the business. So I've asked Jimmy, Howard, and Rachel to work with me on that. Both have agreed, and the intent is to get that started tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir. Item B. Okay, ordinance second reading.
Bill, does ordinance reading have to be by the city attorney? That was a question asked by me the other day. I just wondered if the inflection of the voice from an attorney had it.
Usually not.
All right, for consideration, additional wording to the current animal ordinance. Cruelty to animals. It should be unlawful for any person to cause the death or unjustifiable physical pain or suffering of any animal, regardless of whether or not said animal was domesticated or not by act and omission or because of willful neglect. This section shall include, but is not limited to, the following examples of cruelty. 1, the owner's failure to provide adequate medical care, food, water, and/or humane care for any domesticated animal. 2, the use of caustic, flammable, boiling, or heated substances on any domesticated animal. And 3, leaving an animal unattended in a parked vehicle without proper ventilation. Nothing contained herein shall prohibit a person from killing or injuring an animal in the defense of his or her person or property, or the person or property of another, including not limited to killing of domesticated animals, causing injury or damage to livestock or poultry. Nothing contained herein shall prohibit a person from humanely killing an animal which is severely sick or injured. Method used for killing or injuring the animal shall be designed to be as humane as possible under the circumstances. Person humanely kills or injures animal under the circumstances described herein shall incur no liability for the death or injury of said animal. Right of entry. An officer charged with the responsibility of enforcing this chapter may use any force necessary to remove any animal confined in a closed vehicle when ambient temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit or above outside the vehicle. If the vehicle is damaged during such removal, neither the city or officer attempting the removal of said animal shall be held liable for the damage of the vehicle or its contents. That is the second reading of the cruelty to animals ordinance. And as we discussed at September 5th meeting, this was request of both police officers and animal control officers.
I didn't hear any reference to any municipal codes, numbers, or anything. How we going, will we get
I
this?
think that's added by the code company.
Yeah, it would be easier if they were in there, but I think they can do that.
Okay, just reference that for the minutes that we will let Unicode decide where it will go. Bill, you got any input on that? Okay. With that, we'll entertain a motion.
So,
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. Item C, millage rate. Lisa?
In your packet, I put a copy of the TP 32. It's a form that's issued by the state to calculate the millage rate rollback. The top section shows the 27 digest compared to the 2018 digest. The second column over shows what the reassessment values did. It lowered, they actually lowered this year our values of our property in the city limits. Other changes to the taxable digest, which is the gray column, that's how much the city grew in annexations and building growth. If you go down the page about a little below halfway down, you'll see the computation of percentage increase in property taxes. So it's showing a percentage actual decrease of negative 0.15%. So we advertised, as you remember last meeting, to keep the millage rate the same. And I'm recommending that you approve the millage rate of 4.655 mills tonight, and we'll go on with our property tax process.
Okay, entertain a motion. Wait, before you read it, Lonnie, would you take the air conditioner down just a couple of notches? So we don't have to hang the heat. I'm starting to quivering.
Not down.
Before I interrupted you, you were quivering first.
Yeah, that's the rollback is because of the growth.
We're actually not rolling it back, we're
Just
keeping it the same.
Okay, all right.
We're not required, if anything, I guess we could have raised it, but we'd probably have to still call it a property tax increase.
If we had raised the millage rate, it's an
No,
increase. So if we stay the
We
same,
stay the same.
we can usually absorb the growth that we have. And we've had several properties built this year, so it should appear on our digest this time or next year.
And these numbers are at 40%, but our digest went from 219,877,643 to 238,385,692.
We had an increase, even though we did roll it
But I
back.
just want to make sure I understood that correctly. To keep it the same.
I don't remember seeing any tax assessors come by our properties to determine that it's not as much as, worth as much as it was last year, to get those lower assessments. I guess they just sent it to us in the mail. With that, Ann, I'll take a motion.
somebody came up between Moore and Solar Street, I can tell you that. Ours went up.
You're the one.
Yeah, never confirmed with it too, no.
Appreciate the increase.
I make a motion that we accept the millage rate.
4.655.
Yeah.
Need a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. With that, our citizens should not experience any increase from last year. Is that right? Especially with 38 million extra, the number that you got.
If they're property values.
Unless you were one of the fortunate ones.
You will see some.
Okay. Do we vote on that? Yes, okay. All right, next item, I'm still concentrating. Under new business, planning commission report, Robert is not here, so we recognize Jim to explain for item A and B. I'll let you capture both of them at the same time.
On both those items, these are actions taking property currently zoned as commercial and creating a category in that for a planned unit development. The way the ordinance is written, that should be zoned rural, residential agriculture before being categorized as a PUD. We failed to do that. So city attorney has suggested we take that back to the planning commission, which we've already requested, and then bring it to council after their consideration.
Okay, so we'll be basically going over the same process again, but we'll be changing it to RA. And will this cost the developers, or the city will absorb the cost?
I have waived that cost.
Okay.
Application fee is $325.
Okay,
Can we change it twice, and will we be able to go to RA and a PUD in the same hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how it's identified in the ordinance as RA. You can't go from C2, you have to go through
Can't
RA.
go any
We'll just wait ordinance. is written.
zoning other than RA
Okay.
to a planned unit development. So I'm requesting we table both items A and B.
Entertain a motion to table. Got a motion? Second?
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion? Being all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. Item C, Reinhardt University 2019 fundraiser. Thought we just did that.
I'd like to request Dale Horsey to present to council.
Thank you very much.
Dale, how
Last
you
year,
doing?
I'm good, how are you? Last year, we had a very successful event in downtown Jasper. It was a fun event, a family-oriented event, and we're looking to have it again March 16th. St. Patrick's Day's on Sunday, so this year we'll have it on Saturday again. It'll be the same format, and I think Chief Lovell will say we didn't have any issues last year, I don't think. But we're looking forward to it this year, and we're starting the planning process, so I wanted to make sure we got it approved before the planning started.
Guess you're gonna do it on Saturday instead of the Sunday.
Correct, we'll do it on Saturday afternoon. It'll
What do
start.
they do in Savannah? Do they do it on Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know.
They do it on the holiday.
No, they do it the whole weekend.
But they're still recognized Sunday.
Yeah.
What we don't usually do is set a precedent that we can't recognize Halloween.
Right.
So it becomes Halloween weekend when you do that. So.
But we will, looking to do it on Saturday afternoon. And last year we had it in the area, I'm not sure what you call it, right there, the green space there in downtown. And we are looking to kind of expand it a little bit. So if we wanted to put it downtown, where you normally have events, where the band will be downtown, right, where it usually is, would that be an issue either?
Why not?
Wanted to expand. Well, this would be a big family event.
I would think Chief Lovell would appreciate that.
I think that'd be a great idea. I would entertain a motion from council.
Please recognize that the mayor said great idea, I did not.
You're talking about having the band down in the green space?
I'll have it
Or have it
downtown.
downtown?
Downtown. I guess right in front of the courthouse is where it normally is set up, in that area.
Yes.
You're talking about
We can paint the courthouse green.
We can have water coming out, you know, it'll be fun.
Talking about expanding, would you still use the green space for anything, or would you solely move it?
Probably not, we'd probably just move downtown, and we're hoping to get more vendors, to have more opportunity for the vendors and get the merchants involved. You know, this is an opportunity to have people come to downtown Jasper and enjoy downtown, bring their families. So that's what we're looking at, raising money for Reinhardt University, Pickens County students is what we do. We gave over 18,000 last year in Pickens County scholarships for students attending.
We have the owner manager of Wingsology. Would you like to say something about it? You think this would be a good idea?
I'm all for it.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, we were gonna come see you too.
What time are you talking about closing the street?
Probably around 5 again when we start the walk, and 5 to 8 is what we did last year.
Y'all had a run or walk.
Yeah, it was a
last year.
.5K Shamrock Stroll, and we had about 300 people walk downtown Jasper. It was fun.
You still gonna do that again?
Yes,
Okay.
we're gonna make it bigger and better this year. We're gonna have 300 people.
0.5.
.5K. Want to see everybody there, mayor's gonna lead it.
Yes, have to have an analyst on standby. With that, we'll entertain a motion to approve this request of Reinhardt University's fundraiser downtown Jasper on March the 16th, celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Make a motion.
Have a motion?
I got a motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion? Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council, and I'll let you work out all the details with Mr. Looney and Mr. Lovell back there, and we might get the fire department involved.
That's great. Thank y'all very much.
There'll be an official announcement coming out, but we're very happy to tell you that Dale's agreed to be one of our board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce next year. So we're really excited about having her on our board.
More involved with Pickens County. Look forward to it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Dale. Mr. Looney, police department vehicle. I didn't look at that. You want to update the council and in general, I mean, on the budget, was it not?
This item is on the 2018 budget, purchase of a vehicle for the police department. Typically, we hold on to this until later in the year to see how the budget's going. As we discussed at the work session Thursday night, there are funds available for this. You've got in your package the quote from Ronnie Thompson along with the quote for equipment to be added to the vehicle. This is a Pursuit pickup truck that's being requested. Go ahead and make your comment
I'm
about
just trying to think if it's gonna haul cows, dogs, poultry, or what. No, we entertain a motion, council. I think we discussed this. We entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to purchase the new Pursuit pickup truck.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion?
Is this the only quote we got in
He did obtain other quotes. This was the lowest one.
Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. So what time of year it is?
Mm-hmm.
Once a year we get the back to pay. Or okay, item E, historic old jail on Main Street, repair and maintenance. Mr. Looney?
I believe you have in your package a request from the Historical Society for the city of Jasper to possibly participate in some window repairs and porch repairs at the old jail. There is also a request that the city help the removal of a walnut tree and some other trees on the property, like for council to consider participating in this, and if so, to what extent.
Open the floor. What map they asked successful?
The total amount of the repair was $2,600. I did not.
Was that what they requested?
No,
I can't
they
recall.
are requesting participation, not that the city paid, certainly not the full amount.
Right. Jim, did we talk about possibly using some city crews to do some of the tree removal?
And with your permission, we'll schedule that and get the trees down.
Did you get a chance to speak with the commissioner?
No.
Someone other than I mentioned that he might want to know if the city's taking over his jail. Just might be a thought, but
Actually, we would be participating with the Historical Society, not the county,
right.
on this.
Have
They're the
you had
ones who
conversations with Bill, long-term, are they anticipating taking ownership of some of these historical properties, do you know, or they just want to, has he gotten that far along in his?
I am not sure what their agreement is with the county,
Okay.
and not positive how they're going to be moving forward.
Entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we offer to help them with the trees and then see what the long-term plan is before we invest in and see where the county stands as well.
A motion to help with in-kind.
Yeah, with the trees and then see where they're, kind of like they were talking about where they're going, what their long-term goal is, and then try to coordinate it to see where, are they taking it over? Is it the county, or, you know, how do we want to proceed with it?
And we mentioned the other night as well, it would give us time to add any number to our budget, which
Budget for
is
next
not
year,
there.
yes.
Might give you a good negotiating point with the Historical Society, because they do a lot for that old jail in the city, so we don't want to really not seem accommodating.
Well,
Maybe
Yeah,
match,
and I-
maybe
and
match the
participating
county
in
or
the
something.
removing of the trees is not a small deed. That is, that's going to be an effort.
Maybe matching the county on some of this historical stuff, I mean, it is, as Mayor pointed out, it is in our tank city, but it just feels like they've come to us, and I mean, y'all all know that I believe in historical preservation, but it seems like we maybe match. I'm just throwing some ideas
So,
out there.
and it may be something that we could
I think,
budget for
yeah.
in the future.
And I think
if we
their
kinda
intent
say
is to
you're
go
right.
to the county
As well.
for the difference of our participation versus the total cost.
I think I have a motion from Ann that we will provide the in-kind for the tree removal and whatever else you can do to help them, I imagine would be what was your motion as well.
Could we,
And I think the plan was to use, it's a walnut tree that's being cut down. I believe they're going to use the wood from that in a fundraiser.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that the other
Make some,
night.
got someone who's willing
Walnut bowls,
to
just say.
make some bowls, yes.
would it be possible to add shrubs to that motion? They have mentioned the trees before, they've also mentioned the shrubs, just removing those.
Yeah, and I mean, I make a motion for Jim
Yes.
to make a decision. I mean, he knows what kind of staffing he's got and what kind of,
They had discussed shrubs. It's not in the formal request, but we can certainly talk to them about that.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Motion to allow the city manager to work with the Historical Society to provide in-kind as you deem necessary and appropriate. That fits you up just right. I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. Pouring license, liquor by the drink. We'll let you make all decisions on that as well. Jim, if you would, present the council what this is saying.
We have had a request from Mr. Carpezio, who is with us tonight, to consider lowering the fee for liquor license included in your package. Yeah, Mr. Capizio, if you want to come up. Included in your package tonight is a list of current license holders, beer, wine, alcohol. The ones with a star to the left of their names have the liquor license. That was requested at Thursday night's meeting, so I wanted to give you that into your package. You've also got some information that Tara and Lisa were able to put together about fees charged by cities surrounding Jasper.
Okay. Carlos stopped by my office after the workshop. What day was that, the workshop?
It was 26, right?
Okay, yes, okay. Couldn't remember when it was exactly. That might have been last month, but he stopped by, and it's pretty hard to sell me. I can be sold, but he was explaining to me how by lowering, the city was going to make more. So I'll let you explain that to council.
How many licenses was there actually? Liquor, not beer and wine?
5.
Was 5, okay. All right, that's what we discussed.
Yes,
So you have
explain
5?
your theory.
All right, so the license is $3,000 for liquor by the so you have 5. Just on Main Street alone, Woodbridge, who I believe had a license, gave it up. 61 Main, who I think originally had a license, gave it up because of the cost of it. And myself, New York Pizza, you have Johnny's Pizza, you have Last Catch. There's 6 right there that don't have liquor by the drink. If you cut the license in half, and 5 of those 6 got the license, you'd be at break even, exactly where you are right now. You'd also have 5 more licenses collecting 3% liquor tax every month. And I wouldn't make it a permanent thing, but just, it might be something that might attract people to come to the downtown area a little more often. And as soon as it gets, it starts going, maybe a couple of years, increase the license. But if you take a liquor by the drink, everybody just seems to think that liquor by the drink is you're making millions of dollars, and you're really not. You know, so when you break it down, it really comes out to about 16, 17 drinks a week that you have to sell just to break even. And that's if you have a perfect world where nobody's overpouring or spilling or anything. Okay, so that's just to break even on 3,000. So if you triple that, that brings you $6,000 a year. I mean, I really don't want to take the liability for $6,000 a year, because when you break that down weekly, what are you talking about, $173, $200 a week profit on it? So to make it worth somebody's while to have that license, the initial outlay of the license is $3,000. If you cut it in half, I think it would benefit everybody. Because I would think that you would get 5 more licenses.
Well, we approved the pouring of distilled spirits back in the early mid-90s. We were one of the first cities along 515 that adopted that. And but what we did, looking back on it in retrospect, is we adopted it, but we priced ourselves out of the market as well, obviously, by all those businesses not holding a license. So that's my position on the council. I think you can see Carlos's approach to this, and it scares me when he told me this. It kind of made sense to me. So,
and we spoke about it once with Jim, that you can't single out one area and give them a cut rate, because I guess
that would be wrong.
The state wouldn't allow it, and I understand that. So that's why when I thought about it, I said, well, as long as the city is not losing money.
Did you have an opportunity to speak to the other restaurants to see if they would be interested in going along with this?
I have spoke with New York Pizza. I spoke with him. I haven't spoken with 61 or Woodbridge or Johnny's or Last Catch. But I did speak with New York Pizza. I think I love New York Pizza sent you a letter too, didn't they?
I have not seen it. I understood they were.
They said they were going to. I guess they didn't, but I thought they were going to be here tonight too. But I have spoke with the 2 owners there. They would definitely do it.
We have $750 for the beer, $750 for the wine, which is $1,500. And then $3,000 for the distilled spirits. So you're saying $750 for the beer, $750 for the license, and $1,500, which would be a total of $3,000 for the package.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of 5,000, it's 5,000 the other way.
Right.
Okay. Bill, you have any issue with this? This is just a price in our ordinance. Would we have to change the ordinance?
Y'all got a right to do that if you want to do that.
Would not take a change to the ordinance, just a change
Yeah,
to
we would.
the.
It'd be changing
It'd be changing red twice.
And what makes this a special time, and we are now preparing licenses, applications to be mailed out to folks currently holding them.
Yeah, I think by November 1st.
Jim, can you reach out to the owners? Is that okay for us to do and see if, obviously you can't hold them accountable
Right.
to doing what they say, but right now we got one interested party here, others that said they are, but we haven't heard from them. I know that a couple of those organizations let their licenses drop for specific reasons, not because of the cost of the license. At least two of those I know did that. And get a little more information.
I can certainly do that.
We're looking at 5, we determined that 5 has a liquor license for distilled spirit.
Five
Correct?
now, yeah.
So,
We'd have to have 5 more to break even.
not accounting the excise tax and the other revenue that would be bringing from that.
Right, because the other 5, if you added 5 more, then
I think the only downturn is that, again, the Jasper City Council promoting drunkenness and wildness in the city, and I'm sure we'll get feedback from that. But that whole idea is to make the restaurants more profitable in the city so that we can do the thing that we've planned for years.
yeah,
That would be prosper.
because I don't see myself being open past 9 o'clock, even with a liquor license. I think it's just a convenience for folks that might want to stay at the downtown area, but want to have a cocktail with dinner rather than a beer or wine. And, you know, I ran a drinkery in Canton, and that is not my intention, because I'm sick and tired of babysitting adults. Okay, so, and the liability increases too with that, you know. But I think that I've had a lot of my customers ask me about it,
And the ordinance still holds you responsible to not allow anyone to.
correct, it's my responsibility, correct. I have to know where the cutoff period is and not overserve it, and so do my servers.
So, I mean, the city is not getting rich with 5 liquor licenses.
No, they're not, and they will make a little more money if there are 5 more with the 3%.
Okay, we're in October now. By the time we come back next month with a workshop, come back October, November, we'll read November, December. It's going to throw us right into January trying to renew at the new rates.
Yeah,
So-
I've got a real timing issue
It
with
is.
this. And I don't know, is it possible
So we can refund?
collect the full amount now and refund?
That would be a council's prerogative.
I'm sure that nobody would be upset for refund.
If so we don't hold up the licensing process.
Would that be an issue to do that with?
It'll be odd.
Yeah. I think you ought to have your ordinance in place before you send out a bill. And you could have a special meeting.
We may have a need for a special meeting concerning the planned unit developments anyway.
Okay. if it don't happen, it don't happen, we're
Yeah.
the best we can do.
Right.
You got us thinking about it, didn't you?
I'm just trying to bring more business to Main Street. You know, I think there's a lot of different committees that are pulling in all different directions, and nobody's working with each other. I don't know that anybody's working with the council. I think some of them work with the chamber, but I think you guys.
Half of this council is chamber, or 3/4, 4/5 of it is.
Well,
So.
but my point is that there's this merchant group, that merchant group, and it doesn't seem to be any direction on where we're going with the downtown area. So I don't ever know when any of those meetings are, and I'd rather speak, because ultimately, whatever we do comes down to you guys right here. And I think that I'd like to know, you know, if I could be of any help, it only benefits me, I'd see some growth in downtown. I mean, there's a lot of people that bypass us and go right up to LJ and Blue Ridge, and then on the other side of that is, I drive out West Church and I hit 515 and make a left to go south. I look to my right and there's a giant come to Cartersville billboard, which kind of ticks me off a little bit.
We have the same sign in Cartersville, kind of.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Carla, why don't you, Amberly and Robert Keller are eating your restaurant, I think, pretty.
Yes.
Amberly's currently our director of our chamber.
Mhm.
Why don't you talk to her about what you just said? And
Yeah, I've spoken with her a little bit on it, and like I said, I think that we have to stop having so many different groups and just have.
We actually we do have a
Downtown
plan
lines.
that we're working on from the chamber's perspective.
Uh-huh.
And there are a lot of groups, and those groups are actually working with the chamber as well, so, not to run you out of here, we're glad to have you, but
No.
that's where a lot of the action, where the rubber's gonna meet the road, so.
Because I really don't think the answer, a lot of times I go to these meetings, I don't think the answer is shutting Main Street down all the time.
Would you like to address that?
Yeah, I would, because I think that I mean, on Jeep Fest and Marble Fest, it's a different animal altogether, but listen, I like the car shows, I like the old cars, but to tell you the truth, when you shut Main Street down on a Saturday for the car show, I die. My business just goes into the tank. And I think a lot more people would participate to visit the car show if Main Street is not shut down. And whether you keep the cars on Main Street or put them, I know John from Progress said that he would have no problem with them using part of his lot that's over there, or the other lot that he's just purchased possibly. But I don't think that's necessary. I think just leave the cars on Main and just leave Main open. Because people are not going to park all the way down and walk in. They're just not going to walk in when the Main Street shut down to come eat or to look at the cars. So I think there's enough time when the cars start pulling into the park, that it's a low. There's plenty of spots where they can designate where they want to put their cars and then leave Main Street open.
There's not but 2 places open on Saturday evening, though.
Yeah, there isn't, but what it does is, I'm one of them.
You're one of them,
And
yes, that's
and it
true.
absolutely kills me.
Kills your.
You know, I'll be having a great Saturday afternoon, and then come car show time, I'm dead.
Designs on that. She's not until.
And I don't think Chief would mind if he shut the street down.
I'm sure.
I'm sure this,
I just think the car show would be a lot more successful without shutting the street down, and I know for sure it would help me. And, I mean, we have one of the best main streets out of all of them, LJ, Canton, Woodstock, Blue Ridge. We have so much parking, and then we're just throwing it away and wasting it.
Let me talk to the restaurants that have been identified as potential holders of liquor license, and I can report that to you all via email.
that'd be big. And talk to the guy that's doing the car show for Carlos as well, because our goal is not to put him out of business, and I know it's not theirs. But we've been down this road so many times over my terms in office, and these gentlemen, ladies, love to back into Main Street, and it's the perfect time of day because the sun's going behind the buildings. You put them up in the parking lot, they roast, and I've looked at everything from going down around to the depot in that area. They love Main Street. And I thought it was I thought it was successful when they backed in and traffic moved through, but they weren't happy with that. So we went back to this, hoping it was not gonna hurt your business. So that's between you, the council, and Mr. Looney. And I'll be happy to watch the show because I've been through this already.
Right. I think that, I think they're better off on Main Street too without Main Street shut. I really do. I think it looks nice. They're all lined up, hoods open. People are driving, even people that are just passing through.
Are they doing a band or anything now?
They used to do DJ, I don't know that they did the last time. But I just think people passing through, and you see all these hoods open, that weren't even coming to the car show might now pull in and stop and walk around. And
About how many do they have, Carl?
I don't know the exact, I'd be guessing if I said 10 or 15, I'm not sure.
It fluctuates.
Yeah, it
more or less
does.
than that.
It was, and then they had that one special car show going back quite a while ago. It was a specialty car show that they had.
Yes, yes.
And
These sports cars.
yeah, it was a lot more cars, and it was a lot of different cars, and it was, I forgot who put it on, but that was fairly successful, and it did shut the street down on that one. But that was a big car show that did a lot of promotion and advertising that they were gonna be there that weekend, and it just was a good, successful show.
It was good or wasn't?
It was. It was.
Your business.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to have your business be enhanced by the adventure, not detrimental.
And not to sound selfish, but
It's not selfish, it's called trying to stay in business and
correct. Exactly. So, but on the other hand, that's why I like Jasper, because, you know, you guys are very accessible. I don't think I could do this.
With that, I'm going to appoint Kurt Ratfield as a committee of one to work with you and the merchants and the car show people to see if we can come up with a recommendation for council. Because council can say, yes, we'll close it, no, we won't. It comes from here, so you're right.
Carl, how many days a week are you open?
Can you do that, sir?
6.
You're open 6
That'd be
days
good.
a week?
Thanks.
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking, this gentleman's open 6 days a week on Main Street. We're trying to thrive on Main Street. Car show comes to town 10 or 15 times a year. I think we kind of need to listen to this man and do whatever we can to help his business.
Well, you still got to talk to the people.
And I understand.
You want on the committee?
No, I didn't. But I appreciate what
Happy, but Tony, next
Yeah, like
week, I think you do a good job.
Want to see if it'd be beneficial to everyone, and I think more
Kurt, you got some
come
help. I'll give you Tony this
to the
way.
show.
Tony, just be on the committee for me. It'll give you 2. You get to find out what's going on.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We'll ask for a report next council meeting. Thank you, Carlos, for
I do
coming.
like the St. Patrick's Day thing too.
You gotta pick and choose from this. If you want a menu that you have car show, you don't say Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Have a good day. Jim, I guess that'll go to old business, pouring license. If we don't hear from you between now and next council meeting.
Yes, if we're on, you will hear something currently.
Okay. Item G, city tax exemptions, Lisa?
Currently, we have the homestead exemption at $3,000 and a homestead exemption for citizens 65 years and older at $4,000. And I need approval from council to continue the city tax exemptions.
Entertain a motion? Got a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Being all in favor, vote with your hand. Thank you, council. At item H, GDOT decorative signal mask arms. Jim?
Included in your package is a quote from World Fiber Technology This is $52,244.33 additional cost for decorative poles on 7 McGee Boulevard. We're talking about light poles and Main Street, using the decorative poles to match what we have in the rest of the city.
Be a duplicate to the ones on Burnt Mountain and 53. Hopefully.
So there's 2 per intersection, and each of them has 3 arms, right?
2 arms.
2 arms, I believe.
Okay. 2 arms. Yeah, that's right, one both ways.
And the ones going in L&J, Blue Ridge, they would just be aluminum color.
I have no idea what they're going out
Lonnie,
there.
is that what they're gonna be a standard, just a mask arm?
If we don't, if the city does not purchase the decorative mast arms, then they will be an aluminum color, some kind of metal like that. They won't have any.
Their stock,
Right.
Yeah, that's what they would be, but I don't know if L&J isn't doing something decorative, or,
where's L&J's going?
I don't know.
I know Blue Ridge is getting 2. It's not my job. But anyway, with that, we'll entertain a motion. This will be funded with SPOS.
I was going to say, yes, thank you for mentioning that. This will be in the SPOS account.
Entertain a motion. A motion to approve. Got a motion and a second. Discussion.
It does include the pedestrian crossing signs or lights.
The others have, so we're assuming that these do too, Kurt.
That wouldn't have anything to do with the decorative, because
No.
Well, the reason I said they don't, I guess they match. How does that work?
Let's get run over on them. But that would be, yeah, they don't make those match, but they usually get hit 3 times a week, so it's not really safe to stand on a pedestrian walk jack.
Get out of the way quickly.
Any further discussion?
Signs and see that.
Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council.
I will let the vendor know. There is a 22 to 24 week lead time on this equipment.
Okay, item I, 4-way stop to Old Federal and Philadelphia Lane. Jim?
Council, we discussed this at our September 5th meeting, and there were some concerns that council maybe needed to go look at the area, so we put it off till old business on. Well, we did make it old business. We made it new.
Well,
But anyway,
I was going to bring that to our attention. I thought we'd just handle this new business again.
and it's no problem.
My fault.
Just to be considered. This is something that was requested by one of the business owners in the area. He called today to follow up on it and asking me to call someone who had been in an accident on that road and shown interest in it.
I thought he might be here tonight. He called me.
He calls.
Stanley called me his way. Transparency, we're going to tell who he wants. If he wants to call us, we'll tell him.
So that I can do was at this.
At this intersection, yes.
And this is the intersection where you have the industrial strip going down to Confederate Avenue as well as going the other direction on Philadelphia Lane.
It's Philadelphia Lane, Old Philadelphia, and
I almost got
Confederate.
hit there Sunday.
You had an accident?
Well, I almost got hit. It is very dangerous. I
Yeah.
think. Sorry,
Well, it's-
I tried to raise my hand.
I'm sorry, you're out of your.
I'm out of order. I raised my hand.
Unless you got hit, you're out of order.
Almost doesn't make it.
Only I hit you. Go ahead, Jim. We'll recognize Mary in just a second.
Again, this is for council's consideration.
Council, of course, that street Philadelphia has 3 intersections, more intersections than that, but 3 with stop signs. But this one truly is, it's the only one we have in the city. Actually, we don't, we have Noah Drive that actually comes out in the city with the developments are taking place. There's gonna be problems there one of these days as well. But,
The other three on Philadelphia are
Amanda
not city.
Street,
They are,
yeah.
They're on county road, not city road.
but this intersection, you're not supposed to put stop signs in by state regulations to control speed. Is that correct, Greg? You've heard them say that? But you can do it for life safety reasons. And this, trying to get out of Confederate Avenue at 12 o'clock with all the employees that work down in that area creates quite an experience. If you've not experienced that, they need some way to get out, because they're just jumping out in traffic. Now, Mary, you want to tell your
Well, I was
story?
at Tater Patch, and that's why I was saying, if you're trying to come out from Tater Patch and turn left, you cannot see those people at all coming from that way, and that's where I almost got hit.
And that's
And
because of the
speed.
sign. If you address the
We're
sign.
working on the sign too.
Okay. The distance, sight distance is an issue as well, but this would not only need stop signs, but it would need some type of attention that there's a stop sign ahead, the sign as well, to let people know, maybe a rumble strip or something, because once people think they can pull out, it'd be really a lick.
Greg, do you have any input on it?
It is a bad intersection. Eat over there at Annie's, and it is tough, like Mary said. It's a well, in my opinion.
I'm going to make a motion that we add a stop sign at Confederate and Old Philadelphia with rumble strips.
Have a motion to approve the four-way intersection at Confederate and Old Philadelphia and Philadelphia Lane by John Faust. Put that for the record. Need a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Kurt Hart. Discussion. Being none, all in favor vote by show of hands. Thank you. We're not going to worry about the funding of that either. We're just going to do that.
I think we can.
Pull that one out.
I believe our financial director.
I don't end that, so we're going to pay that. Okay.
You was gonna do that.
With that being said, our next item is item J. David, if you want to come up and join Jim. I think that's on my desk. Copy of it anyway.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. We have actually got to a place where we're gonna be able to move forward with a well permit. We're going from 1 MGD to 1.33 MGD.
On the well side?
Yes, which is an extra 333,000 gallons a day.
Sounds familiar.
For a cost.
Strange, isn't it?
That we, the EPD actually recognized the attempt of the city council to lower their own accounting for water. We all hired an outside firm, Match Point, to come in and do a complete audit and leak detection of the city water lines. And that was the main thing, I think, that got it more than anything, was us bringing in an outside firm to do it. A lot of people try to say that they do it themselves or whatever, but, you know, who knows whether they do or not. And that packet that.
They spent $48,000 to do that, didn't they? We did.
Yeah, they were very impressed with that, and they were impressed that we were going to do some more this year, some more leak detection. And the building department and Jim come up with some areas of growth that are possibly coming in, and they've seen that. So Mr. Rashad from DPD said, you know, kind of go ahead and, you know, allow it. Most of the time, you know, we were talking about years of the unaccounted for, but they've seen the need of the city to have this. So, yeah, really, I mean, I don't think I know a few other things, but, you know, we got 333,000 gallons extra every day for $6,000.
Okay, so the letter says, withdrawal permit number 112-0002. Dear Mr. Weaver, the water supply program of the Georgia Environmental Protection Division, EPD, has enclosed the above draft groundwater withdrawal permit. The EPD is prepared to recommend the draft permit to the director for approval after a public notice period, 30+ days from posting. If you agree with the conditions of the permit, please complete and sign at the appropriate place below and return this letter to the EPD by October the 5th, 2018. Please make any corrections and return the signed draft permit signature page as an email attachment. Mr. Fichette, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. We only got 4 days left. We're going to hand deliver this.
Want to email it?
I think we need to study this before we accept no.
Well, and the strange thing is, it was just received this afternoon.
Would entertain a motion to approve David's efforts and Mr. Looney's efforts and proceeding to get the permit increase. Motion to approve. Motion and second. Discussion. Being none, all in favor, vote by show of hands. Thank you, council. Thank you, David. Thank you.
Where's this take us to, David? Where will it take us to?
Well, it will be 2.33, and with the meeting that we had with the county the other day, myself, Mayor, Jim, and Lonnie, hopefully we'll be able to include some of that water whenever they're not running the plant, bringing it to us, and we'll be, and before they get the plant built, that Jim run it the other day.
We are asking Chris
Ogier
to look into the city being able to withdraw $333,000 off of the county's permit now and process that water.
So this gets us to 233 though? This does?
Yes.
Irrespective of the county's water?
Yeah, no matter what.
Okay.
Yes.
Good job.
Good job, everybody. All bridges.
So if you include the county, we've almost increased our ability to treat water almost to 40%.
Right, but next time it'll be, I think, you know.
You go ahead.
It was already before, it really was, everybody.
Move forward on it.
Yeah.
You tell them about our plant. I don't know.
It's
Lisa will type that for you.
Okay.
This time for print. Thank you, David. Finance report, Lisa?
In your packet, you have the finance report for September of 18. In the general fund, we collected $107,872 in local option sales tax for a total of $942,500 for the year. That compares with a total of $854,963 last year. It looks like and I may have gone over this before, it looks like we're really below budget in our revenues, but that is because in the total annual budget is the proceeds for the fire truck, and we've not booked that at this time, so that's why it would be around 73% if that was booked. Hotel motel tax, I was going to say we're about to cut a check to the chamber end of another quarter. It'll be approximately $15,000 just for this quarter. In the SPLOST fund, we collected $83,947 for the month, and year to date that's $733,106 compared to $665,338. Our cash at this point, right now, and this is counting that we've spent money on our striping already. We're cutting a check probably this week, $622,407 is what we'll have after we cut that check. And I put in your packet a spreadsheet for the whole year on SPLOST so you can see where the money has gone. And there's also in your packet the checks over $5,000 that we spent this month. The water fund, we're running pretty close to budget. a little under in the revenues, a little low, well, rather than under still in the expenditures. And I just was gonna make a note that I budget for a profit in the water fund to cover note payments and principal, which, as you know, we account for water fund as an enterprise fund, and it's not like a general fund, which is more cash based. The principal shows up on the balance sheet, the principal payment. So we are a little under budget with our net profit. I budgeted for $119,870 profit, and we are at $38,319. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I learned a long time ago in politics and water, you don't call it profit, you call it revenue. We can't use retained revenue in water. We use that in the general fund more often than not. You know, like if you say profit, your taxpayer's going to come find you.
Well, I'm just trying to explain that
I know.
profit is used for principal payments. It's part of the cash flow.
Yes. Revenue above expenses.
That's all I have.
With that, we're going to have to plan for the wastewater treatment if we move in that direction. So if we move, we're going to have to move. Did we get feedback on that recently?
I don't think it'd actually be, nothing huge before 2020. That's true.
Won't be in this next budget year.
Okay. With that being said, that's the thing that keeps bothering me down the line is the growth of the wastewater plant. Anything else?
That's all I have.
I'm sorry, I threw a monkey wrench in the budget discussion or the finance. Questions, council, about the finance?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Roads and other reports. They've been painting today.
Okay, Mayor and Council, on the completion of the striping, they still lacked some stop bars, one crosswalk, and one center line on Richard Street. They came up and started working on this after lunch today. And they just called me just a minute ago, and they were gonna finish tonight and be done with all striping. And one of the oil cylinders on their truck actually busted. So they're headed back to Cartersville right now, and they're gonna get parts and fix that and be back tomorrow to finish whatever they didn't get done tonight.
Council had an opportunity to look at this striping. Go ahead.
I have had a business owner approach me about the side streets with a parallel parking.
Okay.
I think we striping state standards, is that right?
Yes.
State and city.
Code too.
State and city, yes.
They're really concerned because, of course, now our vehicles, even trucks, are longer than what they were back years ago, and they're actually hanging over front and back. They're kind of concerned with that.
The size of all parking spaces, according to the state standards, is 9 by 18. So they're 18 feet long if they're parallel or if they're horizontal, either way. So they're 18 feet long and they're 9 feet wide.
Any other questions, Council? I got my pet peeve. I was coming down Spring Street, and they have boogered it up.
Yeah.
It looks like they have it look like they fuzzed. We want, for the money we're paying, please tell them we want sharp, distinct lines like a real big city with big boy pants. We told them that the last time. And I'm showing our Easter on this because they don't look good.
We haven't used this company.
Well, they may be their last time. They need to correct that before they go back to Cartersville.
Okay.
That sign tells them how to get to Cartersville. We can hold this check because it does not need to be paid. I could do better with a spray can.
Yeah, they've crossed the lines over and done them twice.
Yeah,
It really
it's
does.
awesome. And coming in right into the traffic light, this needs to be straight lines and no overflow. You know, the last time, I think it's Peach State that did the last one, when they came back and picked yeah, part. See what you do on that, and tell them that they actually got called out in a council meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, you got called out. You didn't paint on one of them.
The mass arms for the traffic lights, I was in a meeting this morning with a DOT man. He did not have any information on it. I brought it to his attention that they were supposed to start the foundations and everything September the 15th. He indicated that he would find out where they're at. They didn't say which county they was gonna start in or which city they was gonna start in.
We got it.
So,
What'd you say the lead time was?
22 to 24 weeks.
but see, they could go ahead, I mean, and they probably are, they may have started in Fannin County, I don't know. But, he was just gonna find out and give us some information so that we know when they're gonna do footings and whatever.
And it is going to be a staged project. They're going to do all the foundation work in 3 counties, then come back and do something.
If you could, Lonnie and Jim, who you been working with? Carl?
Mr. Carver Road.
If you call him, tell him to send you some type of confirmation that we're going to get our decorative street lights, because I can see them showing up with aluminum, and we're sitting here with what we've had, and we want to go the other route. Please get some type of confirmation that they know what we want, because they will mess it up.
We are working with the contractor who got these quotes for us,
Okay.
so
But something in
there's
writing.
some comfort level there.
Okay, because they will mess up, because they already forgot it once. So, just want to bring that up.
Okay, the brush on 515 from Philadelphia Road, I've been in constant contact with DOT. People have been contacting me, wanting to know why they come up there and cut trees down and left them laying from Philadelphia Road north. But yet Yummer County and Fannin County was cleaned up. There was an issue with the group that was cutting it down. They lost the contract.
Different contractor than one north front.
Right. A couple of weeks ago, they had us sign a contract with another crew. They come up here and work from Philadelphia Road out to Appalachian Court, and now they've lost that contract. So it may be December before we have a crew out there finish cleaning it up.
It's looking better.
But the DOT is working on it. Today, the paint crew has put a right turn arrow on right behind Jasper Drugstore. They painted a new arrow there, right turns to when you pull it out in 53.
Straight in, right?
Is it fuzzy or is it crisp?
I don't know. I come through some fast, I didn't see. In the conversation this morning, the big project, there's a possibility that's being postponed to 2022 now.
Imagine that.
The last time I talked to you, it said it was 2020. But according to the DOT gentleman, it's possible. It's not definite, but it's very possible. And sorry I was late, but I was actually out at Talking Rock working on an easement that we desperately needed. If David could meet with me in the morning, I think we have that easement lined up. And if so, it's going to save the city between $10,000 and $15,000. So we'll go out in the morning if you can. We'll work on that.
Question, council?
Any update on our street signs?
The street signs, the fellows have been working on that whenever they weren't mowing grass or doing whatever needs to be done. I think there's about 30 that still has to be put up, and I'm working on my next order to have it ordered and get them here. The street department has indicated to me that they will work on them, get them up as quick as possible, but they've been doing so many other jobs too. But they said if nothing happened after grass, if they did get caught up beforehand, as soon as they could grass slow down, which should be in the near future, that they would concentrate on that issue and get it taken care of.
How many do we have up?
Oh, I'd have to look on that.
I'm just curious.
I mean, we got a lot of it, I mean, but
This is third order or fourth?
this is the third order that's in the shop down there. And they, I ordered like, nearly 70 in this order. And they put them up, and I think there's about 30 something left or something out of this order.
Questions?
Thank you.
Council, before we move forward with the fire police chief, next month is election. Excuse me, maybe you should have to come on up. We're not gonna throw anything at you. We need to determine where we're going to meet. This room will be used for elections.
If you want to hold the meeting, I can go across the road and
I
rent some
think we'll need
space.
the meeting because we've been pushed anyway. We don't need to bump it back any. So if you could
I
just
will,
cross the street.
I'll
that'd be
obtain a
good.
location across the street.
Council, if you will, plan on the tech school, unless you're here otherwise, but you'll be updated. That good, Lisa gave me that little note. Thank you, man.
By the way, it should be recognized that this is Mr. Lovell, Chief Lovell's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Attend the council meeting.
Every 7 years he gets to be here.
Y'all got my 50th on the Marble Festival 2 years ago.
But did you get a truck of that one? You got a truck tonight.
I did.
See?
But he didn't get Provino's, it's free.
That means Steve's gonna buy dinner for him.
You still make it down. All right.
Carlos is still open.
It's
No,
not free.
already.
It's not free.
It's not free.
I'll pay for it.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Jasper Police Department for the month of September responded to 968 calls for service from the 911 center, responded to 57 motor vehicle accidents, issued a total of 183 citations for the following: 145 for speeding, 3 seat belts, 1 reckless driving, 1 uninsured motorist, 24 miscellaneous violations, 5 suspended or revoked, and 4 for unlawful use of wireless devices, texting and driving. Georgia State Patrol issued a 79.
What's the fine for that?
It's not much.
Texas one driver.
Huh?
First offense is 50, seconds 100, third's 150.
150.
Respectively.
Plus
points on the
points.
license.
Habitual violator.
And you get points on your
Yes.
license as well, so. State Patrol issued 79 citations for a grand total of 262 in city court. Issued a total of 23 state warrants for the following: 1 for loitering and prowling, 5 for obstruction, 1 felony obstruction, 1 speeding, 1 fleeing and attempting to elude felony, reckless driving, failure to maintain lane, 2 theft by taking felony, 1 theft by taking misdemeanor, criminal trespass misdemeanor, family violence, simple battery, family violence misdemeanor, 1 disorderly conduct, interference with 911 call misdemeanor, possession of methamphetamine felony, crossing the guard line with illegal drugs felony, aggravated assault felony, sexual battery misdemeanor, and 1 possession of a firearm by convicted felony. Miscellaneous calls, responding to 54 alarm calls, 18 disorderly, 13 harassment, 13 trespassing, loitering, 81 suspicious activity calls, 25 domestics, and investigated 1 burglary.
Questions, council?
I heard there's a commotion down on Line in the street over the weekend. Was there a traffic stop or something where a bunch of guys had to show up? Do you know what I'm talking?
Could have been.
Okay,
Make them all over with 262
gotcha.
there.
People were texting me, I'm like, I'm great, you know?
It's a
It
busy
could have
one.
been the sheriff's office, it could have been, nothing major over the weekend.
So are you ready for Saturday?
Yes, sir. There was a kind of a thing, we had a young man in possession of a firearm. We actually locked him up. He was in a car chase in Gordon County, but we don't know if y'all heard, we had a shooting at the Dunn's North, but he actually shot himself. He had the gun and it went off in his pants and he was hospitalized. And then, obviously, we took warrants and then he knew he had warrants, and so he got in a chase with Gordon County, but I think he's in Peoples County Jail as we speak. So, he heard the shooting, he was accident on a
have a gun, you can pull in your chamber.
In your pants.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Chief Roper?
Good job, buddy. Took it out right.
I'm gonna start letting you go before.
Now, I kinda like watching this. Mayor, council, for the month of September, the city's fire department responded to 122 emergencies. Those were one structure fire inside the city, one outside, 2 vehicle fires inside, none outside, 1 grass fire in, 1 out, 7 motor vehicle accidents with injuries, 3 outside, 47 emergency medical responses inside, 32 outside the city, 19 other calls in, 8 out. As of the end of the month, it was 1,038 calls. Fire inspection looked at 4 sets of plans and conducted 18 inspections. ISO has come and gone. Won't know anything officially for another month, maybe more. I think we did okay. We had everything he asked for. So we got max points on the trucks and the equipment. David helped me out tremendously with the water system. I said I won't have a clue until I officially hear from him, and it can take as much as a month, maybe longer, maybe 2. I have no idea. I think we did okay.
So we're presently at a class,
There were 5.
we're going to a 4.
My goal was a 4, yes. We were inspected or audited by the state of Georgia on our training records and whatnot, aced that. So,
What would that mean if we went to a 4?
a decrease in everybody's homeowner's insurance.
So we're pulling for you.
So it keeps money in your pocket for me to lower that number,
Well, we just bought you a big truck.
which is a plus too. That was very, very neat.
Well, we're gonna keep you on the hot seat for this.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
What is the truck status?
Truck passed its inspection in Ohio. It is currently at Williams Fire Apparatus in Alabama, which is just outside of Talladega. Couple of trucks ahead of it have equipment mounted. They're looking at starting Wednesday, October 10th, with the equipment mounted. And that'll take up to a week, but no longer. Should have it in Jasper probably by the 17th, maybe, of October. And it'll be delivered, ready to go. But I will keep you updated.
Your guys excited about it?
We did, yeah. Oh, we did.
That's good.
Question, Cal?
Open burning, just apply online like we did at the end of last year?
The
Open
open burning,
burning?
yes.
That starts today?
Yeah, starts today, and you can do it online. It's crazy simple now. You actually do it on the phone is the easiest thing to do. Your cell phone number becomes your permanent number.
What's the number you call?
1-800-OK-2-BURN.
I said, what's the number? 1-800, say that for the camera.
OK-2-BURN.
Set 2 is the numeral.
2 is in the number. OK, the number 2, burn. I don't know what I have to do.
You still didn't look at the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say it.
1-800-OK-2-BURN.
There you go.
VR5.
549.
Maybe there's 2 cameras, so.
Oh, we don't want to. There you go, glad you did that. You picked it up, didn't you? We don't want to make him do that again.
I don't mind.
No. I didn't want you to be shy from what Mr. Lovell did for you, so. Anything else you got to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Questions, council? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
John, you have any JYSA news?
Football's gone well. Cheerleading's gonna have a competition coming up next month. Kids are busy.
And they're playing down at the high school, right?
High school is great. Coach Parker's really been really helped us out with that. We're good.
Any no other business coming before the council, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Hey, Bill, do we have anything on the block? We're still working on it.
I haven't had a secretary for nearly a week. I haven't worked on nobody.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for the news.
Secretary.
Yeah, that is real.
I lied to you. You go with 1-877. Okay. I did lie.
Hey, Mary, turn that back on, he gave you the wrong number.
1877.
So should I'll put a big thing, I'll put text on there. I'm trying to build it, because I've been sharing it, and I can't get it fast enough.
He sounded
You want to do another one? I'll just put it. It's an hour and a half, and you listen to you. I did it. Thank you.
We could do, hire a landscape crew, you know. I've done everything except got down on the knees and prayed. He had agreed to keep us up at 1:30. One day he could go out there with me, so he could do the and you don't want to hire a landscape crew. He inspected what the boys had already done. But he wants to plant it back in the centipede that's already there. And I just want to make sure there ain't no confusion. And people will be ready to sign the easement when we get out.
Yeah, how about you?
So, are you getting
Well,
the check?
I've got a contract. Is your check going to be going
Would you like? I'll just ask the treasurer and see what she says.
Who was it? Tony was the only other one you had to ask? Does your check go directly to?
Ask the treasurer.
That's his fun fund.
That's almost as good as 300.
I know, and that was your fun. That's right, I said, he can't do
Just put it right up here.
If you don't look at it, it looks fine.
I don't want to
I know. I'm not even